I'm just gonna uh, give you all a chance to say hi. It would be really awesome if you could say hi and let me know that you're here. Cool. I'm testing out light really seriously, right? Feedback is welcome. Without it, you couldn't see me. So I'm gonna simultaneous go live on Facebook at the same time because I can't get my friends to come over to our side of the world here on YouTube. So I'm hoping that I can encourage them. So here we go. Hi, Facebook family. I'm on with my YouTube family right now. So if you don't mind, I'm going to talk to YouTube in hopes that you will come on over to my channel so that we can meet all in one place as it's easier. So to start off, where am I? I am right now in my bee cave. Quite pretty. Today I'll let you see it. But I'm here for a purpose. I was challenged by my friend, thing going around, 25 push-ups, 25 days, raise awareness for mental health. And so I've got some good nuggets for you to learn. And so I thought, first of all, light a candle since I'm in my she cave. You're welcomed here into the realm of my space. This is like meant like really hard. Yes. Okay, there we go. All right. Get some like mood going. So Lane and James and Suzanne and Daryl and Linda. So come on over to the YouTube. It's Stephanie Brown. So that I'm not rambling, because see, this is my brain trying to divide myself between two parts of media. So I'm gonna follow through the promise of the challenge and have a little chat. Here we go. I have been up since 5 a.m. 6 a.m. class for CrossFit. Shameless plug, CrossFit Elgin. I had to do I get up at 5 o'clock because my medications are so strong that it takes me 45 minutes awake as possible so that I can go to class. So it's 8:15. It's getting to time for my pajamas like pronto. So these might be some quick push-ups. Let's see. Let's see what I got in me. So everybody, make sure that move the phone over here. All right. Make sure that it's fair. All right. 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13, 14, 20, 1, 2, 4, 25. Ugh. Ugh. Okay. Ugh. That never gets easy. But I will tell you, I was never, like 3 years ago, I was in such a bad state from depression that that would not have happened. I couldn't do it. So, I want to share, see if anybody's written. I want to share with you, masking is something that everyone does. It's where they come up with the term, I put on a mask when I go out. And people with a mental illness will mask. These last 48 hours have been rough. I was almost crying on the way to the gym this morning. Like, there's like no reason. And so I'm just sharing with you, and I have been sharing that it's been tough. But I want to continue on with some good information. Again, if you can find my YouTube, subscribe to it and hit the bell so you'll know when I go live. I'm still trying to decide when to go live on YouTube, if people could tell me. So of this book called Psychotherapy for Bipolar Disorders, and what's really exciting is I think I recognize a couple of people that suffer from mental illness like me that are on right now. I won't point out, but I don't know about you guys, but I felt really dumb and awkward, and so I never thought I was smart. And being real with you right now, if I'm talking slower, I have taken my medication, but I have to times. So I apologize. I'm talking a little slower. So on page 1, where we left off, regarding depressive episodes, which is what I'm going through right now, something happened in my life that has caused me to feel down. A common feature is the presence of lowered mood or a loss of interest or pleasure, together with decreased energy, sadness, feelings of worthlessness, or excessive guilt, psychomotor agitation, decreased ability to think or to concentrate, social withdrawal, insomnia, or hypersomnia, and low self-esteem. In some cases, recurrent thoughts of death or suicide can appear. In any phase, some patients can exhibit symptoms at both ends of the spectrum simultaneously. Okay, hold the buses here. This is what sucks. It's called a mixed mood. It's mania mixed with frustration, overwhelm. I'm very upset, and it's a very dangerous state to be in because also can feel very useless, and you have irrational thoughts that people don't really care if you're around. So to repeat, in a clinical way of putting it, in any phase, some patients can exhibit symptoms at both ends of the spectrum simultaneously. Hypomania and mania and depression, known as mixed symptoms. Now, what's interesting is I called it a mixed state. Now, you may not know, but I went to college for social service worker. So I've studied psychology at a college level and done some university. So the words that I make up are probably just from my background. So they call it a mixed symptoms. So if you want to think of, if you have a glass with me, but if you have a glass and you pour antifreeze, vinegar, and gasoline, shake it up. That's how nasty a mixed state is. It's nasty. The hypomania and mania and depression all mixed together make for a very upset person. Depending on the severity and duration of mood episodes, bipolar disorders can be classified as bipolar 1 or 2. Now, a milder form known as cyclothymia, symptoms of depression and symptoms of hypomania for at least 2 years, but not sufficient to fulfill criteria for a major depressive episode or hypomanic episode. And residual categories of atypical forms do not fit in the above mentioned subtypes. Okay, I'm going to break this down into English. I personally, you have a right to believe what you want to believe, but here's the thing. But I believe what Dr. Chris Aiken and Dr. James Phelps follow, which is that bipolar disorder is on a spectrum similar to autism, either manic or depressed, and everything else in between. And because there are days when I am happy, fine, and then there are days the next day where I'm like, why does it have to be like this? I was fine yesterday. So, that's it's called Bipolar Not So Much by Dr. Chris Aiken and Dr. James Phelps. People ask me, are you bipolar 1 or bipolar 2? And I simply say it to me. It makes sense that it's a spectrum because, first of all, take away illness, and you and I are two different people, totally complicated. It's funny, so creative. That's another thing. Bipolar people are very creative. Can you see this knot? You know, they're really popular. I got it at a secondhand shop for $3. Um, that's our brains. Like they're super complicated and intertwined. And to say I'm bipolar one and I'm bipolar two, well, to me that says this is what it looks like. I'm bipolar one. Well, you're a person, you're a whole person. Go through different experiences. So to say that, like, oh, when I get a cold, I get a runny nose, that makes sense. But to say I'm bipolar one or two, then what if I don't line up totally with all of that? What does that mean then? So for me, I'm more comfortable with the research that's been done about uh, bipolar being on a spectrum similar to autism. So, anyways, I'm going to leave you with that interesting information. Tomorrow, I'm going to talk to you about the brain, and it's interesting. You know, nothing you do is a waste. When I went to Fanshawe College, I was only 17 years old. I graduated with an 85, 87 average at 19. And I remember studying neurotransmitters and all that sort of thing. And so it's really interesting being able to educate people on how your brain works and why you may do what you do. And so, what I want to repeat of last night that you, if you have your normal brain and then your brain is, you know, put through trauma, there's science that your brain is so affected between 0 and 5 years old by your experiences that it will affect how you see the world profoundly. And at our age, my age, learning and retraining your brain is like saying, here's a bicycle with training wheels, and you have to ride it, training wheels on, until you get the hang of how to drive the bicycle before we take the training wheels on off. So if you have PTSD, if you have anxiety, if you've been through a traumatic experience as a child or experiences from 0 to 5 that severely affects your brain, that severely affects how you are in automatic response to what is happening around you, and therefore, you know, for example, it can be a precursor to drug abuse, because if you don't know how to handle what you're feeling, you'll need to escape. So I will see you tomorrow, and we'll talk about the brain. Um, I'm I want you all to know that are having a rough time that you're not alone, because I'm crying my own tears sometimes right now. And um, yeah, I think because I'm kind of timing out, and I don't mind showing that. I'm gonna sign off and get some sleep and hope that tomorrow I don't wake up feeling like there's something heavy on my chest. Um, hang in there, and if you're in trouble, please reach out. I'm Stephanie Brown, and thank you for spending time with me. I hope that you've learned something on a so so the takeaway was that a depressed mood is a combination of some nasty stuff, which is called a mixed state. If you wanted to do some of your own research, go ahead and fire at me anything that you learn. That'd be cool. Bye. Good night. And also to you, it's been nice hanging out with you. Um, and I hope that you've gotten some value out of tonight. Remember, no matter how crappy or awful I feel, I know that you and I have a purpose, and that there's a reason that we go through times. Is how can we help other people if we don't know how much the bottom sucks? We've had to sit at the bottom.